So welcome to the video wherein we are going to discuss RDBMS implementation. So this is the video RDBMS implementation part 2. In part 1 of the video we have gone through the DDL statements. Those are being used to create the relational schema practically, right? So we have seen SQL statements, the DDL statements. Those can be used to build the RDBMS practically, and we are referring to our university schema. So for this practical implementation and demonstration, the system with Windows 10 and Oracle 10G Express Edition is being used. Oracle 10G Express Edition is available in public domain and you may install it on your system, and it is possible for us to implement our database management system in Oracle 10G. So let me start the demonstration now. So I'm going to launch now Oracle 10G Express Edition. So it is asking me the username. So while the default username for this edition is system, and while installing the Oracle we are supposed to provide the password. So whatever is the password that you have used for installing, while installing the Oracle system, you provide that password. So after providing username and password, it is allowing me to log in into the system. Now click on this SQL. I am not going to explain you any of the details of this GUI. We are interested right now in providing the commands, right? DDL commands to build our relational database management system. So directly go to this SQL tab, click on this and this SQL commands. So you'll see the window like this. Okay, so this is our SQL command window wherein we are going to provide the SQL statements. Now let me tell you, before actually going for creating the schema, we are going to create our own user. So I'm not going to provide you details of how to create the users, and I'll be explaining you only these commands. You need to follow those commands, and later on whenever the turn comes for that kind of experiment, I'm going to provide you how to create the users and how to grant the privileges. But right now, as far as this demonstration is considered, you are supposed to create one user and give all the permissions to that user so that we can build the schema. So I'm going to create a user. As we are dealing with university schema, I'm going to create user as university. So look at the statement that I am writing. Create user, name of the user, it is university, identified by the password. So once again I am providing password as university for simplicity. So I am giving the statement create user, whatever is the username that you want you may provide, identified by the password, right? And I'm going to run this statement and I'll see here user created in the status, right? So I have created one user, separate user, so that I can build my schema under that user. And now I'm going to provide all the privileges to this user so that we can create the entire schema. Okay, so I'm giving here the statement grant all privileges to university. That is name of my schema. So grant all privileges to university. Okay, so I am going to run this statement also, and I am getting here the message statement process. So I have created one user, and also I have granted all the privileges of the database administrator to this user university. Okay, now once I have created this user and granted the privileges, I am going to log out now from this system. Okay, and I am going to log in with the newly created username and password. So we have created university as the username and password is also university. So I am going to log in with this new credentials. Okay, so you may see here now the username here is university, and I am having now this GUI with me, but as I stated, I am not going to deal with this GUI right now, but I am interested in providing the SQL statements. So we are going to click on SQL and SQL commands so that we can once again visualize this command window, and here we are going to provide our commands, right? So referring to the earlier discussion in part 1 of the video, now we have identified that we want to create department table first. So see here how I am going to provide the statement. So create table department in parenthesis. We are listing now the attributes of this table: department name, varchar 2 20, building, varchar 2 15, budget is the numeric variable, so we are providing the data type as number, and precision and scale 12,2. We are providing the constraint like check budget is greater than 0. We want to have always budget value to be greater than 0, so we are providing this check constraint here. And also we are having the primary key, so we are designating the primary key for this table as department name, right? And close the parenthesis. Okay, so this is our statement: create table department, department name varchar 220, building varchar 215, budget number 12,2, the check constraint check budget greater than 0, primary key we are designating as department name. So see carefully the syntax how we should provide this statement, and run this statement. So we have seen here the message table created. So we have created this table. Okay, now how to check whether this table is created or not? So we are having the statement describe and name of the table. So let us write here describe department and run the statement. So here you are seeing now the table department with these 3 attributes: department name with the data type and the length, right? Department name is the primary key designated, then second attribute is building varchar 215, and here it is nullable. That means the null values are allowed. We have not provided any constraint to avoid the null values for building, so it is nullable attribute, so we can have null values for building, and for budget also we can have the null values. This is data type number and the precision is 12,2, right? So this is how we have created the very first table, that is department. Okay, now as I stated in earlier video, we should create the tables for those relations wherein we are not having any foreign keys, right? Because unless we create the original table, we cannot borrow the foreign key in another table, and that is why we are creating initially the tables which are not having any foreign keys. So according to our earlier discussion, we should create table for classroom, we should create table for time slot, because these two tables are not having any primary key, any foreign keys. But as we have created the table department, and in our table instructor we should borrow the department name from department table. Now let us proceed to create the table, that is instructor, wherein we are having the foreign key department name. But as we have already created this department table, it is possible for us to designate now the foreign key in instructor table. So let us create now the table instructor. So I am providing here the statement create table instructor. So we are listing now the attributes, ID of the instructor, so ID varchar 2 and size is 5. Then name of the instructor is once again varchar 2 with size 20, and we want to provide here one constraint, and that constraint is we do not want name of the instructor to be null, and that is why we are providing here the constraint not null for attribute name. Further, we are having department name, department name varchar 2 20. So this department name actually is the foreign key that we would like to borrow from department table. So whatever is the data type of department name in department table, the same data type and the same length of the attribute we should have here for this department name attribute, because we are going to borrow this attribute from department table. Department name we are going to designate as the foreign key. So department name varchar 220. Then the next attribute is salary, which is of type number, and the precision and scale is 8,2. Now here also we do not want the salary to be 0 for the instructor, and that is why we are providing here the check constraint. So check salary greater than 0. Okay. Now we want to designate the primary key. So primary key for instructor table is ID. So here we are mentioning primary key is ID. Okay. And now here is the term for designate the foreign key. So we are writing here the keyword foreign key. Which is the foreign key? Department name is the foreign key. And from which table we are borrowing it? From department table. So we are writing here foreign key department name references department, and further one more statement we are adding here, or one more construct we are adding here. On delete set null. on delete set none. So what does this mean? See, we are borrowing this department name from department table. Okay, so whenever we will insert a record for the instructor, okay, we will be having that record, and before inserting the instructor record we should know the department of the instructor. So if and only if that department name is available in department table, it is not possible for us to use that department name while inserting the data in instructor table. Okay, so this is what we mean by integrity constraint, and that is being implemented by making use of this foreign key constraint here, right? And the concept that we are using is on delete set null. So what does this mean, on delete set null? This means that if the respective record in the primary table, that means in the department table, if it gets deleted, then the respective tuple in instructor table will have department name value set to null. So whenever the respective tuple in the department table wherein we are having that particular department name that gets deleted, the tuple in the instructor table will have the department name set to null, right? So let's execute this statement now. So we are going to run this command, and we are getting here once again the message that is table created. So we have created this instructor table successfully. Now once again we may use this describe statement, right, to describe or to see the definition of our table. So this is the definition. So instructor table ID, the data type and the length is being provided, and this is a primary key, then name, department name and salary. Okay, so this is how we have provided the describe statement to see the definition of our table instructor, right? Now let us try to create one more table, say student table. So create create table student in parenthesis. Let us list out the attributes. So student ID varchar 2 5, then name of the student varchar 2 20. Let us provide the constraint not null, then department name varchar 2 20. So it should be similar to that of the department name attribute in department table, because this is the foreign key here. Then comma total credit number, say 3,0, okay, and say designate the primary key now. So primary key as ID. Okay, and now let us run this statement. So if we run this statement, we are having the error. So what happened? ID varchar 2 5, name varchar 220. So here we have missed the parenthesis, so that is why we are getting this error. Fine. So let's run this statement, and we have got the message table created. But now see here, we have committed one mistake, and that is the department name, we wanted to designate this department name as the foreign key from the department table, and we forgot to add that constraint, foreign key constraint. So what to do? So now what has happened? We have forgotten to designate the foreign key for the student table. So we are having another DDL statement, that is alter table. So we are going to make use of that statement, alter table. Name of this table is student. We want to add the constraint, so add constraint. Now we need to provide some identifier for the constraint that we are going to add. So it is foreign key constraint. So let us give name for this identifier as FK department name. So that is the identifier for this constraint. And which constraint we would like to add? We want to add foreign key constraint. So we are writing the statement foreign key in parenthesis department name references department, right, on delete set null. Okay, so let's execute this statement. So what we did, alter table. So the table definition, the table has already been created and we want to modify this table definition, and what we want to do is we want to add the foreign key constraint because we have not added it earlier. So we are making use of this statement, alter table student add constraint. FK department name is the identifier for the constraint to be added. Then foreign key department name references department on delete set null. So if we execute this statement, the message that we are observing here is table altered. So we have added now this foreign key constraint. Okay, now if we want to drop any of the constraints, then also we may make use of this alter table statement. So alter table student, let us try to drop it and once again we'll add it. So alter table student drop constraint, and name of the constraint or the identifier for the constraint to be dropped is FK department name. So if we give this statement, if we run this statement, it is possible for us to drop this constraint, okay, or remove this constraint from this table. This is only for the demonstration, but actually we want to add this foreign key constraint in student table, and that is why once again we are going to execute this statement so as to add this foreign key constraint into student table. So let us execute it and the table gets altered. Okay, now let us try few more variants of alter table statement. Suppose in the student table we are having this attribute total credit, and let us assume that we would like to drop it. So how we can drop this attribute from the already created table? So we are giving this statement like alter table student drop name of the attribute that we would like to drop, total credit. Okay, and if we execute this statement, alter table student drop total credit, so this attribute gets dropped. So let us run this statement. So we are having here missing keyword. So what is wrong here? Alter table student drop column total credit, right? So we have dropped this total credit column. Now let us use describe statement to describe the student table. And what we will observe is, we will observe that this total credit attribute is not there in our table. Now if once again we would like to add that attribute in our table, then we are going to once again use this statement, alter table student add total credit number, that is the data type 3, 0. Okay, and we are going to run this statement, and we are getting here the statement table altered. So we have added successfully this total credit column once again. So if we describe the student table, now we can see here that this total credit has added into student table. Now if we want to provide the check constraint for this total credit attribute, then how to do that? So now let us try to add this check constraint on total credit in this table. So we want to add the constraint like total credit should not be a negative value. So it should always be greater than or equal to 0. So how I am going to write the statement for this? So alter table, which table to be altered? Student, so name of the table, then add constraint, then the identifier for the constraint. So we are adding check constraint, so check on total credit, so relevant identifier we are providing. So alter table student add constraint, check total constraint is the identifier, and the constraint to be added is check. What to check? Total credit is the attribute. This should always be greater than or equal to 0. So this is the statement that we are going to provide. So alter table student add constraint, identifier for the constraint, check total credit is greater than or equal to 0. And if we execute this statement, we are getting the message that is table altered. So we have successfully added this check constraint also in the student table. Now I am going to demonstrate you how we can drop a table. So for now, we are going to drop the table. So remove the table. So let us create some temporary table, and then I'll show you how to drop it. So I'll write a statement like create table temp, okay, ID, say varchar 2 5, name, say varchar 2, say 20, with the constraint not null, and let us say primary key is ID. So this is a definition for a temporary table temp. Okay, so let us run this. So what happened? Once again, here we missed this comma, so let's execute it. So this table gets created. So let's write here this statement, describe temp, and we'll see the definition of this temp. And now let us try to drop this table. So the DDL statement to be used to remove the table from the database is drop table temp, and this is how we are going to execute the statement drop table temp, and we are getting the message table dropped. So this is how we can use this drop table statement to remove any table from the database. Now let us go to the GUI and let us see what are the tables those we have created. So we click on object browser, and here are the list of tables that we have created: department, instructor and student. So department table is having this definition, instructor table is having this definition, and student table is having this definition, right? So from this GUI also it is possible for us to look at the objects those we have created. So once again let us go to our SQL window. So from our university database we have created so far only 3 tables. So let us try to create all the tables. So I am collectively giving you the definitions of all the tables, and one by one we are going to run those statements, right? So now I am going to paste all the definitions of remaining tables here from the university database, and let us try to one by one execute those statements, right? So far we have created department table, student table and instructor table. So now let's try to create this classroom table. So definition is being provided here. So execute this statement and the table gets created. Similarly, create table time slot, execute the statement and the table gets created. Then create table course, run the statement and table gets created. So we have already written those definitions. Then create table advisor, so table gets created. Then create table prerequisite, so once again table gets created. Then create table section, so see here the definition of this section table. So we are having here the check constraint, wherein see the way how we have written this constraint, semester in, and we have provided the set of values. So semester value must be fall, winter, spring or summer. So no other value than the values in this set are allowed, and this is how here we are providing this check constraint semester in, and we are providing the list of values, right? So let's execute now this section definition for section table. Okay, so this is how we are writing the statement for create table section, and we are running now and the table gets created. Similarly for teachers, we have written the create table statement, we are executing it and the table gets created. And finally we are having the text table, so the definition is here and we are going to execute this statement so as to create the table. So this is how we have created all the tables. So I have tried to show you how create table, alter table and drop table statements are being used. Okay, these are the DDL statements, right? So few of the variants of these statements I have demonstrated in this video. There are few other variants also. For example, there are several constructs under alter table statement. So I would advise you to go through all those constraints, and whatever is the problem statement that is being provided to you, try to build practically the database schema in this way, right? So I hope you must have understood all the DDL statements and how to execute practically these DDL statements, right? So that's all for this video. Let us conclude. Thank you.